you. We will now call the December 12th, 2022 Public Employees Committee to order. Madam Clerk, please call roll.
Alderwoman Davis,
Present.
Alderman Cohn, Alderwoman Tyus,
Present.
Alderman Coder, Alderwoman Spencer, Alderman Oldenburg,
Present.
Alderman Stevens, Alderwoman Schweitzer,
Present.
Alderman Lappe,
Present.
Chair Bosley,
Present.
Alderman Cohn, Alderman Coder, Alderwoman Spencer, Alderman Stevens. 6 present, we have a quorum.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate everybody being here today. Can we approve the minutes from our past meeting? What was that meeting date, Madam Clerk?
June 13th,
All right, I entertain a motion on approval of minutes.
Point of order.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so on our agenda, it says June 28th. Was that a mistake?
I can definitely find out, but yes, on mine, it has from June 13th, but let me make sure, give me one moment.
Thank you.
Thank you for catching that discrepancy. I hope everybody's having a great morning thus far.
And an afternoon too, since it's 3:10.
And a great afternoon. A great day.
We're still looking it up right now.
Okay.
Okay, it has been confirmed. The minutes should be for June 28th.
Okay, thank you. I entertain a motion to approve the minutes of June 28th.
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved by Alderwoman from the first, seconded Alderwoman Schweitzer. Thank you. Your vote will sustain the, well, not with your vote, will sustain the motion, but it's been moved and seconded. Madam Clerk, please call roll.
Alderwoman Davis,
It's messing up too. Aye.
Alderman Cohn, Alderwoman Tyus,
Aye.
Alderman Coder, Alderwoman Spencer, Alderman Oldenburg,
Aye.
Alderman Stevens, Alderwoman Schweitzer,
Aye.
Alderman Lappe,
Aye.
Chair Bosley.
Aye.
Alderman Cohn, Alderman Coder, Alderwoman Spencer, Alderman Stevens. We have 6 aye votes.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I don't plan on this being a long drawn out meeting, ladies and gentlemen. We plan on, looks like we've got 1 speaker. We do have only 1 resolution to go through. So I'm sorry, we have 2 speakers and 1 resolution. So we can go ahead and start that. We will put before us resolution 119. Alderwoman Schweitzer, you recognize.
128.
128, I'm sorry. We'll put before us resolution 128. My apologies.
Great, thank
Alderwoman
you so
Schweitzer,
much.
you're recognized.
Thank you so much. Would it be appropriate for the clerk to read the resolution?
Yes, ma'am. Madam Clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution number 128, introduced by Alderwoman Ann Schweitzer, President E.Green, Alderwoman Annie Rice, Alderman Dan Guenther, Alderman James Lappe, Alderman Bret Narayan, Alderman Shane Cohn. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Aldermen of the City of St. Louis that the board requests that the Department of Personnel negotiate in good faith with city workers to create incentives to retain and attract city workers, including but not limited to the following.
That was not the entire resolution.
She read the summary.
Just read the summary. Okay,
Could
great.
you read the rest of the resolution, Madam Clerk?
Resolution number 128, increasing pay and benefits for all St. Louis city workers. Whereas St. Louis city workers provide the services of government, and whereas without them, our city cannot function, and whereas St. Louis, like many employees in municipalities across the country, has struggled to fill open jobs and retain employees, and whereas because these vacancies necessary services have not been delivered and residents have suffered. And whereas the city of St. Louis has unprecedented funds available to help fix this issue through ARPA funds and RAM settlement funds once available. And whereas all city workers in St. Louis should be considered crucial to the operation of our city. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Aldermen of the city of St. Louis that the board requests that the Department of Personnel negotiate in good faith with city workers to create incentives to retain and attract city workers, including but not limited to the following: pay employees competitively, including the 7% raise as indicated by the recent payroll study, provide additional retention bonuses, recruit employees through a variety of methods to reach a wide audience, including in schools, social media, printed advertisements, and elsewhere. Create affordable housing programs and or down payment assistance programs to assist city workers in buying a house and living in the city of St. Louis. Provide education and training and financial incentives for participating. Provide other financial incentives, especially for hard to fill positions. Provide benefits like health savings accounts and dependent care, flexible spending accounts. Investigate efforts in other cities to improve recruitment and retention of city workers. Improve recruitment efforts, especially in undeserved and marginalized communities.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Alderwoman Schweitzer, you're recognized.
Wonderful, thank you. So this resolution, as it says, thank you for reading that, Madam Clerk, is about supporting city workers so that the city can both retain and recruit the workforce it needs to carry out the services carry out the promises that the city makes to residents, which is providing these city services. As residents of the city ourselves, we see the consequences of not having enough people to do the work that needs to get done. We get the calls. We know that's what our residents are seeing too. And no matter what else the city does, it must keep our trash picked up, our parks and streets maintained and improved, our trees trimmed, our calls answered, and our business and neighborhood services going. And every single one of those things happens because a city worker does them. When we don't have city workers to do the jobs, we end up with expensive contractors doing routine work, funds that we could have used to invest in our workers. This is urgent, and this conversation is timely with the recent hire of our new personnel director, who I'm hoping is able to participate in this meeting as well. I think I see her. Wonderful. Hello, Ms. Gray. Thank you for being here. The items laid out in this resolution, as the clerk read, are several. I think the 3% raise that employees received in the last that we voted on in the last budget session was timely and needed. I do think that needs to increase. With education and training pieces, the CDL program and efforts of SLATE are again crucial and important. And we just need to continue to provide additional benefits like these pre-tax fund accounts that can be used for healthcare and dependents that our city workers might have. I appreciate the time of everyone to hear this resolution, and I hope to earn your support in supporting our city workers. Thank you.
Thank you. It looks like we have two speakers. We'll first go to the director, Sonia Gray. Did you have a preference, Alderwoman?
No, I think it'd be wonderful. I'm sure their members of the committee will probably have more questions for Ms. Gray than they will for me. So that is however you want to continue moving the meeting along, Chairman Bosley, I appreciate.
Okay, we'll have a discussion with Ms. Sonia Gray, and then we'll take care of it. Looks like we have one Mr. Jeff Hans from the union as well, who would speak. All right, Ms. Gray. Is she available?
Okay, I'm here. Good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you. Before we start, I do have to swear you in. Thank you very much for being here. Raise your right hand. All right, do you swear or affirm that your testimony is the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
You may begin.
All right, great. Good afternoon, everyone. And it's an honor to be able to be in this role, as well as to hopefully begin to address some of the issues that you've outlined in this resolution, which are some of the same issues and concerns that I have with the Department of Personnel carrying out the services that we should be providing to the city and to the city employees. Of course, there are things here that are not in my direct control that will have to be partnered with the administration, especially around the raises that are there in conjunction with the payroll study that has been done. There are some things on here on the list that I think that I've already begun to work on with regarding recruiting employees. I agree that there are avenues that we haven't done a really good job at branding the city as a place for our citizens to want to work, as well as the outreach into different communities. I do believe that there is an untapped group that we have not did an outreach to be able to come and work for the city, in which the personnel department is beginning to work on those things right now. As far as education and training and financial incentives, there are things that the training department can do for our employees. I could go on, but in a nutshell, I don't disagree with a lot of the things that are here, but I'm just not in a position right now to be able to commit to anything other than you have my attention, the city has my attention, and I will do whatever it is that I can to be able to carry out the requests that are here.
Thank you very much. Are there any members of the committee that currently will have any questions of Director here, Ms. Gray? And I'm just, if you throw your hand out there, there we go. Alderwoman Ties, you have the floor. You recognize.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. So of these bullet points, which there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I guess it is, are there any that you are already working on?
Yes. Bullet number 3,
Okay.
already working on putting things in place to be able to begin to do that.
Okay.
I think that bullet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 6, 7, with the implementation of our new ERP system, we should be able to, again, not making any commitments, but definitely looking into it as far as the HSA. My understanding is that the reason that we have not implemented this as of yet was because we did not have a way within our current payroll system to be able to have additional deductions. But I believe that will be taken care of in the new ERP system. And hopefully we'll be able to do that sooner than later. The second from the last bullet, investigate efforts in other cities to improve. I'm already working on that. I've been in touch with the city of Atlanta, the city of Chicago, to begin partnerships to see how they are addressing the recruiting and retention of workers. Of course, city residency has been an issue for us. And so there are incentives that I'm preparing to put together to hopefully get approval to help support that. And that also helps support with people moving back into the city or moving to the city. So on that one, I'm already working. And then also the last bullet, improve recruitment efforts, especially in underserved and marginalized communities. So I'm working on that as well. Just for your information, to let you know, the recruitment and examination department has been down 4 recruiters over the last year. We are interviewing next week to fill those vacancies with qualified people that can help us address the recruitment issues that we're having within the city right now.
Okay, thank you. And I'm sorry, sometimes I get task oriented, and so I don't do the necessarily the things I should do. Welcome aboard.
Oh, thank you.
First time. Congratulations on your new position. I don't do that sometimes. I get right to work. Okay. And
That's
so,
okay.
and how long have you been here now?
34 days.
So that's a awesome amount of things that you're already working on in 34 days. I want to ask about number 9, underserved and marginalized communities. This improved that it's a recruitment effort.
Yes.
So do we have any data that says that underserved and marginalized communities are not getting jobs in our community or don't have access? I'm curious why they put that in there. And is there any data saying that? Okay, because I don't know what that means. So maybe you could enlighten me.
I can respond to that. I can't respond to that based off of any data.
Okay.
And I'm not sure why it was included in the resolution.
I will ask the sponsors. I'm sorry,
Okay.
It shouldn't have been you.
Okay.
I was just saying that maybe there had been some kind of studies. I used to be the chair of public employees several years ago, and I actually pushed the former personnel director, Richard Franks, to do the study that he didn't want to release. We got into a really big argument about that because they had done studies and then they wouldn't release them, and I just insisted. That's why he left. One of the reasons that he left in a huff, because I wanted it released because people need to know what other people are making, and maybe the reason that we don't have people working for us is we're not paying them enough money. While I was the chair, one of the things that I really did push, and I wish we would push it more, is we actually do offer, we do loan forgiveness, but it's done by a department. And so when departments don't tell people they don't know about that, that to me is a big thing in this day and age. When I came out of law school, I didn't have any debt undergraduate, but I still ended up owing like $50,000, and I had a scholarship to WashU, still owed like $50,000 in debt. My husband had debt, and we paid that off. So if we could offer younger people, besides the housing, the ability on a citywide scale, you come in here instead of each individual department having to tell them, well, we got something, but we haven't really set it up. If we could have something set up in personnel as a recruitment tool that said, hey, we're going to help you get this debt down, that might, along with the housing program, that might be something that attracts people into our to work for our city.
Okay.
I have no further questions or statement. Thank you very much, Ms. Gray, and welcome again.
Thank you. But I'll tell you one of the things though, when you look at bullet number 9, and the thing that just jumped out at me, especially coming into this role out of the community. I've lived in the city of St. Louis ever since, we moved here. And one of the things in the underserved, marginalized communities, there is not or has not been much outreach as far as jobs are concerned. I just look and I say a city that has, or an organization that has 1,000 openings, we should be hit. We should be at the schools. We should be utilizing the faith-based organizations to help promote, vacant positions. We should be hosting our own job fairs. We need to get out and go to the community, because a lot of times when you're speaking of these communities, they don't know that these jobs are actually open or even available.
Okay, so are you saying that we should do something more than just, because I know people post online, and that's always been my argument about online, is that a lot of older people or people with that don't have as much money, they may not have access to all of the online resources.
Yes.
But I will take up for the city a little bit and said that, you know, I've been here the longest of anybody. I've seen an increase in people going out and doing things in the community. When I first got here, that was unheard of. So it may not be perfect, but it is a lot better than it used to be. Okay. I will also say on the other side, I am an avid supporter of people trying to get enough people to drive trash trucks. And so I get really irritated when I talk to people and then they say, I don't want to drive no trash truck, you know, and, you know, so we have conversations about what that means, employment, benefits, and things like that. So I also, and it's nothing you can do. I just want to say that sometimes people have stereotypes about jobs. And I think that we messed up a long time ago in the St. Louis public schools when we got rid of technical training, and we went or to have technical schools, and we start pushing everybody. Everybody cannot be a doctor or a lawyer. And I need a good trash person that picks up my trash. I need a good carpenter. Jeff Hans know I need a good carpenter. I need good plumbers. I need all those things. And that's not you, but I'm saying that's part of our problem, is that we have pushed higher education at the expense of blue collar worker to me. Okay. And not taking enough pride in being a blue collar worker. I come from a family of blue collar workers. I've been very fortunate to get an education, but they put all of us cousins, and there's 30 of us, through college. Okay. We got to go to college because of blue collar workers, but we still have to know how to do something other than practice law. So I can also hang drywall, is what I'll tell you. Don't tell anybody, Jeff Hans, because I might be getting into the carpenters. But it goes both ways. You're out there recruiting, but we also need to teach people pride in whatever they do. You know, it's not your job, but all of us need to be encouraging people to know, if you clean hallways, that's a good thing. We needed grocery store workers. Now we're begging. If you go to any place, they're begging for workers, fast food and all of that. So in the city, we need to say it is very important. Whatever job you do, it is important, and we appreciate you. And again, I yield my time back, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who has any more questions for Director Gray? All right, I don't see any hands. Thank you very much, Director. We appreciate your presence. Thank you so much for being here. You're welcome. Thank you. All right, Mr. Jeff Hans. Are you ready for, you were for this resolution, correct?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, nothing but the truth? Oh, truth. All right, thank you. You may proceed.
Thank you for this opportunity to speak for you today. My name is Jeff Hans. Many of you already know who I am, but for those that don't, I'm a representative for the Mid-America Carpenters Regional Council. I represent probably 1,000 city employees in various departments throughout the city. Used to be 2,500, but with all the vacancies and cuts and gutting of all the departments, I'm down to about 1,000 now. I also reside in the old 13th Ward. I don't know if that's the first. Alderwoman Schweitzer is my alderwoman. I am in favor of this pay bill because I've been an advocate for the last well over 22 years, trying to get city employees a respectable wage where they're not required to, quite frankly, work a secondary job, which countless employees of mine are required to do just to make ends meet, which hurts my heart, quite frankly. And it shouldn't take an employee 30 years, I'm talking 30 plus years, to get to the top of the pay scale. That's part of the problem the city has. And I've fought with, I guess this would be several directors, but welcome, Madam Director. I haven't had the opportunity yet to meet you. I'm looking forward to working with you during the short time that I will still be on this job, as I am going to be retiring very soon. I'm hopeful that this resolution will get some ground with Room 200. It's not been popular with my members to see checks going out to people who aren't doing anything for city services. I know the meeting Saturday where the aldermen are trying to raise their salary 100% isn't very popular with my membership. I'm surprised there's none of them here to speak against or even speak to that, but maybe they're too afraid of retaliation. Since I'm a short timer and I've always been an advocate for my city employees, I will continue to do so until my last day. But anything you all can do to help city employees get a better way of life, be able to afford to pay their bills, not work a second job, would be helpful. Would appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Do we have anyone have any questions for Mr. Hans? No? Alderwoman Tyus?
Yes, I would like to challenge that stereotypical opinion about not this, because he already knows where I'm at with this, but I just want to have your workers know that if they doubled their work, they would want double their salaries. And I don't know what happened Saturday because I was not there, but I would submit to you if they knew how the aldermen had not gotten a raise. I've been here 30 years. And when I first started, I made 23,000. I now make 34,000 in 30 years. So I promise you, we did not give ourselves a lot of money for those people who have that misconception. And I can say it, and okay. And then I want to promise you, if you give me double the work, or any of your members, if they gave them double the work, I would be the person out there leading, saying, then give them double the money, okay? I do not support 14 wards. I think it should have stayed at 28, because if you go out in the county to the places that are most successful, they're alder people, and then they got the county council, but their alder people represent 700, 500, 1,000 at the most. So, but I think they will find out that you cannot do twice the work for half the pay. So that's what I want to say to that. As far as this, did you ask the sponsors to do this, or did you just join in with them when they put the resolution in? Did you ask the sponsors?
Did I ask the sponsor? No, I learned about it when it became a resolution and was shocked and happy.
Okay.
But a lot of employees are doing double the work because they've cut their departments so bad. So
and I'm opposed to that.
Yeah.
If you ever listen to anything, I talk about Randy Brightonfield. I've been doing the trash, and I have not only opposed to it.
You've been a champion as well. It's
I've written, I think that is wrong.
It's not really the board.
Right. So I'm just saying nobody should get double the work and not get paid. So I want the workers to get paid. That's why I fought the previous director and said, hey, release this study so people can know, and fought to get the study in the first place. But I just wanted to know, so the unions don't think that by us doing this, that we're somehow interfering with the unions.
I'm surprised there's no other unions here to speak on it. I did push for the findings of that study, and it was shot down by then interim director Moten. He was told by Room 200 that it was inadequate and too cost effective or too expensive. So okay. we were then told what we would get, which didn't keep up with inflation or anything like that. So, I mean, a lot of my members have decided to quit, and I said, well, we're not done yet, but hopefully there'll be better, days down the road, but some people are tired of waiting.
I understand. I have no further questions or comments. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Do you have any other questions or comments for Mr. Hans?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to give, first of all, there is no such thing as it being too expensive. When you are an employer, your job is to find a way to make sure that employees are adequately paid and have opportunities for advancement. So what you do is you take it in steps. No one ever has enough money to do it all at once, but you have to start somewhere. And that is what we have never done. I talked about this 10 years ago, that I had never seen anything like this. where you don't have the opportunity to have step increases. I even talked about it for the fire department. The only way you can get a raise is you get promoted to a captain from it makes no sense. It should be at least 2 steps between that before you get to a captain. But again, our processes are archaic. They are not in line with corporate and how you service employees. The merit increase has been a joke. That's another problem we have. And we know that many of our employees are just frustrated over the years because it goes back and forth. You only get it if I like you and I give it to you, or nobody gets it. And that makes no sense. We have good employees. They should be rated appropriately, and they should have the ability to get merit increases. So there's a lot for us to look at, and we do have some funds available, but even in our general budget, there's enough money to recognize people in their good work. So I'm hoping that this resolution has the opportunity to move forward with planning. See, that's another problem we have in the city. We don't want to plan and execute. We just want to jump in and throw something out there and then walk away, and then maybe it'll work and maybe it won't. But you must plan, you must have oversight, and then you have to make sure that compliance is there, which means you may have to improve it. You may have to change it all the way, but you have to do something. And that's why the apathy is there, and people have given up on working for the city. You know, we used to have so many employees trying to be employed by the city because the employees were at least happy with morale. And now that's gone down. So we have a lot to work on, an awful lot to work on, so that people can have what I consider to be a harmonious work environment, but most especially have the ability to feel good about who they are, what they are providing, and that they are compensated properly. So I've always thank you, Jeff, for all that you do. I've watched you. We feuded sometimes, but most of the time we're just dialoguing to get it to where it needs to be. So I appreciate that. And I hate to hear that you're trying to leave, but I understand when it's time, it's time. But before I yield, I'd like to welcome Director Gray to her new position. And I hope that we are more helpful than harmful as you're trying to execute and improve the operations for our personnel department. Thank you.
All right. I appreciate everybody. Looks like we don't have anyone else that has any questions or comments from the committee. All right. So I entertain a motion to pass resolution 128 out with a due pass recommendation.
So moved.
Second.
Previous roll.
Hearing no objection to previous roll, Board Bill 128 is passed out with a due pass recommendation. I'm sorry, resolution 128 is passed out with a due pass recommendation. Congratulations, Alderwoman Schweitzer.
Thank you. Thank you all.
All right, please add my name to the resolution. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, please make note of that. Please add my name as well.
Yeah, sorry, but Alderman Oldenburg would like to be added as well.
Thank you.
So noted.
Well, I
We
was gonna
added
add
this.
my name, but now that Alderman Oldenburg is doing it, I just put half of my name, just put Tyus
Just
up.
at the beginning of it.
just when we were starting to get along,
I know.
Alderwoman.
All right, it looks like you got everybody on the committee.
Thank you very much.
All right. Is there any more business from members of the committee? Anybody have any announcements? All right, with that, I'm sorry, go ahead. You said we have none, I'm sorry.
I have a question
Yes, ma'am.
for my learning purposes. Could you tell me, please share with me the purpose of this committee?
I'm sorry, can you, the purpose of this committee? When we look at all personnel, all personnel. Okay, all right, thank you. We look at personnel matters throughout the city. Of course, we consult with you as the commissioner, the director there on changes or things like that that you would like to make. They then come to the board and we discuss different matters about public employees within the city.
Okay.
Point of order.
Yes, ma'am.
Additional.
I will share with the committee that I will be.
Hold on 1 second. We got a point of order. Yes,
And it's more addition. We also sponsor the board bills for the pay raises for the employees and things like that. Okay, so that's and that's a hard one because when I was the chair, I'd never been the chair, and I had to try to learn all of this in a very short period of time. So we're strictly about public employees. Okay, we don't do some of the other people who work for the city. It's public employees.
Got it.
Only public employees. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. With that, if we have no more questions or comments, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to
We can
adjourn.
stay here. Second. All right, we are adjourned.